Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your MTN Statewide News. I'm Jeanelle Slade. We begin with election news this Thursday. A judge in Billings has blocked enforcement of a state law that restricts the collection of absentee ballots. Now, the ruling came in a lawsuit filed by Montana's Indian tribes and the American Civil Liberties Union. State District Judge Jessica Fair issued a temporary restraining order blocking the law known as the Ballot Interference Prevention Act. The law, passed by Montana voters in 2018, restricts who besides the voter can deliver absentee ballots to county election offices. Now, the ACLU, Montana Indian tribes, and 2 Native American groups are suing to overturn the law, saying it violates voting rights by preventing ballot collection efforts on reservations. The suit says Native Americans often have poor access to voting offices or mail and instead rely on people delivering their absentee ballot. The judge agreed enforcement of the law during the current election could cause irreparable harm to Native American voters. Judge Jessica Fair has set a hearing next Friday on whether to grant a permanent injunction to block the law while she decides whether it is unconstitutional. Well, Montana's reopening process is moving along faster than many other states, but still not quick enough for some protesters who took to the state capitol yesterday. Demonstrators are calling for the state to fully open now. They say rules favor some groups over others and put unreasonable restrictions on people's freedom. Many acknowledge the concerns around the coronavirus, but say a full shutdown wasn't justified.
The principle of it, as a free society, we can't just force people to close down because things are scary. If we are not free when things are bad, then are we really free, or are we just play acting at being free?
Ravalli County health officials are urging people to continue following coronavirus precautions as they wait for a recent spike in cases to potentially grow. All 8 related confirmed cases are in quarantine, and the county is tracking contacts with 30 more people. The initial cases are tied to travel, not community transmission. Now, the county urges Bitterroot residents to social distance, wear masks in public, and wash their hands. Now, because of patient privacy laws, the county cannot give further details on where or what town this outbreak happened. Well, Montana health authorities add 1 new confirmed COVID-19 case today. That new case in Yellowstone County involves a man in his 40s. There are 23 active cases statewide, 8 in Ravalli County, 6 in Yellowstone, and 5 in Bighorn. Now, the state says 3 people are hospitalized. A recount confirms voters approved the Townsend School District's elementary bond proposal by an extremely narrow margin of 3 votes. Now, the Townsend School Board conducted the recount this week. They confirm 1,041 people voted for the bond and 1,038 voted against it. They matched the results after the initial canvass last week. The $18.8 million bond will build a new elementary school and pay for security and safety upgrades. Now, the district will begin the design process for the new school this summer and fall. The project could go out for bid early next year and begin construction as soon as May 2021. Well, Western Montana already dealing with high waters this spring. The Clark Fork River west of downtown Missoula spilled over its banks and is now covering parts of streets, thanks to a prolonged widespread rainfall overnight. Now, projections for the Clark Fork River above Missoula are calling for a crest just shy of the 11-foot moderate flood stage sometime between this evening and noon Friday. And Ravalli County authorities say they are also monitoring rising water levels and the potential for some minor flooding this week. Well, it's a busy weather scene all across the state. For the very latest, let's check in with meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
Janelle, it turned out to be such a busy day yesterday, and a lot of that is also continuing into this afternoon, but not the strong to severe storms that we saw. Now, everywhere you see one of those markers on the map shows somewhere where we had some report of very heavy rain, flooding, hail, wind, and some wind damage to go along with it as well. Here's just a sample over in western Montana, some flooding concerns from Missoula all the way down towards Sula, plus a lot of areas picked up rain totals that were anywhere from over 1/2 inch to 2 inches, and a lot of that in a very short period of time. Across eastern Montana, we saw a lot more hail reports, up to 2.5 inches around Miles City, and wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. A look at what's happening with the weather today coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, the first CWD case of the year has been found in Gallatin County. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks says a white-tailed buck in the Spring Hill area north of Bozeman contracted the fatal disease. The deer was showing multiple symptoms, including a drooping head and ears and a sluggish response time. CWD was first detected in Montana in 2017. Fish, Wildlife and Parks biologists identified more than 90 cases of it last year in Montana. A Colorado man is behind bars and his friend is in the hospital after they smashed their van into a truck in downtown Bozeman. The pair took off, but the fast actions of witnesses prevented the worst. MTN's Cody Boyer has that story.
Josh McCain says he and his young nephew were driving down 7th just after 1 p.m. Now that's a busy time for this stretch. McCain says what happened next when a man and his passenger slammed into the back of his truck was a miracle.
All of a sudden, just bam.
Police say Jeremy Morial and his friend sat for less than a minute after their van smashed into McCain. To McCain, the rest happened like dominoes.
They hit so hard. Unfortunately, hit us so hard that we hit the lady in front of us, a grandma and her 2 granddaughters.
McCain moved fast, checking on the family ahead.
I said, stay in the car. I said, do not get out. This guy's going to take off. I guarantee it.
A gut feeling that proved accurate.
I knew if he's going to take off, there's other people that are going to get hurt. He saw me coming. Puts it in reverse, rips his front bumper off of his car, swerves out, almost hits me.
Police say Morial sped off down Main to Huffine, weaving through traffic, narrowly missing several bicyclists. But McCain hadn't stopped either, taking down the pair's license plate number.
It's a miracle, honestly. The way that he took off, he was within 2 or 3 feet of head-on collision from somebody else coming on oncoming traffic.
But not before leaving a clue, that bumper with the license plate on it. McCain credits his calm action to those he works with at Big Sky Bravery.
We work with active duty special ops members. The lessons I've been taught and the training that they've given me the last 4 or 5 years definitely kind of keeps your head cool in a situation like that.
Police found the van miles away at Cottonwood and Durston. Morial blew a .294. His friend hospitalized with injuries to his face and hands. No one else was hurt. A fact that McCain says is the biggest shock of all.
I just count my blessings. Just always watch your 6.
In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
If convicted of criminal endangerment, Morial could face up to 10 years in prison. His bail is set at $35,000. Well, if you're not driving like that, you may have noticed some extra savings on your car insurance bill this month. That's because when the pandemic prompted stay-at-home orders, less drivers equated to fewer accidents. April and May saw a tremendous drop-off in motorists. Some insurance companies were giving discounts of almost 25%. And as you may expect, as drivers increase along with accidents, your insurance bills will go back up. We have more ahead on your noon news. Grab the laptop. We study up on how some Montana science teachers make sure students are getting hands-on learning to earn their final grade. The time now is 12:08 and Ed McIntosh is in next with your statewide weather forecast.